Hey, it's Soul, and this is Warcraft Weekly, standing in the ruins of what once was. You can help support the channel by liking this video, subscribing for more wild coverage, and catch me where I'm live. We're going to be kind of quick this week as news has been fairly light, but I also want to talk about how the channel's doing and what is ahead. Let's get to the good stuff first. Diablo 4 revealed its upcoming expansion, Lord of Hatred. So what? Well, fans of both World of Warcraft and Diablo might be pleased to learn of a new cross promo happening ahead of the expansion's release. Pre-ordering any version of Lord of Hatred will score you 3 unique pieces of decor for your home. Now, as a reminder, everything under the Battle.net umbrella, from like shop items to services to whole expansions and even non-Warcraft games, can and should, I guess, be considered as content you can obtain by just playing World of Warcraft thanks to the WoW token. It even makes sense now during early access, where folks can collect decor ahead of their housing binge in a few months. Now, maybe you want them or maybe you don't. The point is, just like other cosmetics, we're going to continue seeing these new kinds of carrots being thrown around. It's only a matter of time when we're going to start seeing decor coming from like Twitch drops or snack promos like the Hate Cycle, and that's just the start. The Legion Remix's final phase dropped and it went off exactly as expected. And by that I mean lots of people were hoping for more of a bang towards the end. The thing is, it seems like this was the plan. I mean, yeah, even I admit that commentators let this little bullet point do a lot of the heavy lifting. But as far back as the reveal, we were at least told there'd be a bit over a month of this closeout period where we'd be able to say bye to the remix while infernals rained from the skies. Maybe that last part feels more like a whimper and it's a pretty long closeout period, but I think I'd rather have this extend over the holiday break as opposed to like one final week, go, go, go before you miss out. And who knows, maybe it'll escalate over time, but for now, this is what we're seeing. Some big hotfixes hit housing over the week. Last week, folks managed to figure out how to edit their homes to hover in the air. Clearly a bug, but, well, no one cared. Folks were quick to turn this into some very, very cool creations. In fact, it took off so hard, that instead of fixing the bug, Blizzard's instead going all in, giving support for raising the altitude of exteriors, and at some point, we hope to see the homes given a proper bottom, I guess. The news was enough to blow people's minds like, oh my god, fun detected, fun protected? One of WoW's producers explained that all it really took to convince them was showing off a few really cool creations using these floating houses and probably some reassurances flying houses won't disrupt the actual mechanics of housing. It seemed to be enough to convince whoever's in charge to be like, yeah, sure, let them cook in the air. Also, users probably noticed their outdoor budgets went up to 250 up from 200. You could also kind of spin that and say the neighborhood budget went up from 11,000 to 13,750. The devs cited their observations of how well the game was handling budgets so far, and it seems like our little pockets of data can afford to be a little bit bigger, but probably not to everyone's satisfaction despite being a pretty small space compared to our interiors. I am hoping for a bit of a Christmas gift in the form of adding some outdoor lights in the next couple weeks or so, because, I mean, come on, it's the holidays. Let us have something festive as we welcome folks into our fell dungeons or whatever it is we actually have inside. That takes care of the WoW stuff, but now we gotta talk about, like, the channel for a bit. You know, what's going on right now, what's happening later. If that sort of stuff bores you, it's all good. Just please be nice, you know, like the video real quick, and I'll see you for the Monday reminders. Now, y'all might have noticed a lack of anything outside of streams this week because I've gone on a tour of housing. Actually, roughly 30 homes, from the cozy to the extreme to engineering mishaps to caves to a dungeon. I was locked inside a dungeon as part of the experience. And that's just a taste of what's out there, as we've seen loads of other creations on like other YouTube channels and social media. I only half joked when I said that this channel would pivot really hard towards player housing, but I do still want to cover my bread and butter, you know, informing you of the high level of what's what, and keep folks chill and calm amidst the storm of clickbait commentary and extreme reactions. You know, I don't want that to change, but I'm also dealing with an elephant in the room, and it's one of my own making. One day from this recording, so I guess tomorrow, I'm going to release my first official episode of Around Azeroth, featuring my live tours of player creations. It's going to be an ongoing weekly series featuring an hour's worth of these tours, which will be something like 4 to 5 of them, or maybe more if some of them happen to be short and I can squeeze them in. Due to the nature of how these are made, obviously this is going to take up almost all my stream schedule, to the point where I got to consider longer streams or additional stream days or both. I tried practicing a few scripted tours where I can get higher quality captures and there's like less banter and stuttering for me and so on and so forth, but logistically it's not really feasible to spend a good number of hours doing captures and scripting that would go into just one tour, especially when there's a lot of people wanting to show off. Like I did about 30 tours this week. Now, well, okay, you might say, hey, you know what, so why don't you only feature the best of the best that you've seen? No, I'm not going to do that. I want to use this series around Azeroth to celebrate WoW players who have the passion to create, but also the courage to put it out for the public to see. So around Azeroth, it's not a competition. It's not a rate my house sort of thing. It's exploring. We're just exploring players' creativity. The current queue is a bit over 50, and that doesn't include the tours I've already done. So I'm going to have a massive backlog of live tours to trim down and make digestible into clickable videos while not burying ourselves in all of this too much all at once, right? I'm going to be choosy as to which tours will go into a video and when they go out, and I'm trying to strike a good balance because I don't want folks feeling bad if their tour isn't featured soon or if at all. Meaning another part of my plan is to dust off that second channel of mine and rebrand it into the Around Azeroth archive, for people who want to look at every single uncut tour in all of its glory, right? And they don't want to wait weeks for the content to just drip out. So, a little bit about me, like I'm a creature of habits and routine. I want my Monday reminders. I want my Saturday weeklies, and soon I'm gonna have every Sunday around Azeroth. I'm trying to make the elephants fit, So this process of making it all work, it's gonna be ongoing. The stream is gonna be cleaned up, and more importantly, I'm gonna try and improve on my presentation skills, like keeping calm with the camera movement and just thinking up more terms than cool. And of course, working on the stutter. That said, around Azeroth, it's not really about me at all. It's about you and your creations, your expressions, and your celebrations of the game that we all play. It's inspiration to get us excited of what we can make on our own, or it might just be cozy eye candy to wake up or to fall asleep to. That's kind of the goal. Since it's powered by you, I do encourage you, now and forever, to sign up for a tour. A link to that is in the video description. The goal is to have at most like a 2 or so week turnaround between you signing up and then me going on a tour. I want it to be faster though, of course, and like I said, this is going to be a process. I have a pretty good gauge of how much I want to present to viewers in the YouTube VODs, but I don't want to burn myself out on doing the actual tours. Like that's not going to be good for anyone. So I ask for your patience as I smooth things out behind the scenes, and I can get to talking about professions pretty soon, right? Like, hello. Thankfully, there haven't been any significant updates on that front, and I really am excited to talk about how much easier easier professions are in Midnight. Just like the World Within, I want to start off with some strong educational, like a how it works guide that applies to all the professions, and that way the specific breakdowns I do later, they're going to be shorter to produce because you'll already be empowered with some knowledge, or at least you can refer to these first videos. And I also want to thank you all, from the live viewers to our patrons to the folks like you who made it to the end. I feel like I got a kind of job promotion just now, thanks to housing. I got some new responsibilities and new kinds of cozy content to deliver to you, and it's all positive vibes, so it's a lot of fun to do. Everyone gets featured live. Each week, I'm gonna pluck a few tours from the archive to show folks who want to see stuff on demand, and then the raw stuff is always gonna be present on the other channel. When that's up, because that's going to take some steps. That's going to be a process too. So stay tuned. Please like this video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.